Number of outdoor programs on Saturdays from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. That's not Sunday morning. We're not in a nice building. We're right in the middle of the drug culture. We're right in the middle of the prostitutes walking the street. There are drug deals going on all the time. We've got 3 divisions of the Cincinnati Police Department, a SWAT team, a bicycle team, and squad cars everywhere around. And it's amazing how many people are coming to Christ in that environment. We feed them, we clothe them, we have a little fun with them. Laugh a little bit, cry a little bit, and it's amazing how they will come. Make a lot of wonderful friends. Well, I have a lot of friends in the church. I love the church. But sometimes there's something remarkably Christian about making friends with somebody that Jesus would probably go to as soon as he got here. I doubt very seriously if the wonderful Son of God would spend a whole lot of time in the churches singing along with us. He'd probably be going to the very same places he went when he was here the first time, among the hurting. I have a good friend in Cincinnati. I love him, Pastor. He's a black fella, and he lives under the Central Bridge downtown, sleeps in a cardboard box, and every time I go to him, he say, "Hey, Pastor Don, how you doing?" I got people in the church won't even be that kind to me. Yeah, he'll come out there and help me unload a truck. You know, we used to get 53-foot semis in from Lisbon, Maine when we were in Russellville, and I'd try to find some good old sanctified, holy, set-aside, Jesus-filled men to help me unload that truck, and I couldn't get a one. Laziest, sorriest, saved men I ever saw in my life. But you know what I would do? I would go down to a place called Jake's Bar. Jake's Bar. That's spelled B-A-R. And you know what Jake would do at noon? He would lock the door and tell these boys, some of them 3 sheets to the wind. I like that preacher and he needs some help. Now, he needed the money from the sandwiches and whatever he was selling to pay his bills. But he'd close that bar and here'd come that motorcade up from the bar. Help me unload a 53-foot semi. Then they go back to the bar. I've had people in Russellville tell me, "You mean you would allow them to help me?" I said, "Yes, bless God, until you get up off of your tail and help and do what Jesus told you to do. I'll go straight to that corridor and help." So my friend in Cincinnati, my wife and I were taking a load of water down not long ago, and he come out and had his arm in a sling. I said, "What in the world happened to you?" He said, "My house burned down." When I thought that's crazy. He lives under a bridge. The bridge didn't fall down. I said, "How'd your house burn down?" "Oh," he said, "You know where I live?" I said, "I know your address. I know where you live." He said, "I was going by Lowe's not long ago, and I saw where somebody had bought a new refrigerator." He said, "Did you ever see how big a refrigerator box is?" He said, "Man, that made the best apartment I've ever been in my life. I scooched that thing up underneath the bridge, and it was so comfortable. I made me a bed in that thing, and the temperature went down to 12 below zero, so I built a fire. I don't get ahead of me. And my house burned down." He just laughed about it. And I thought how foolish sometimes we are to pile it up, put it in a yard sale, pile it up again, put it in a yard sale. The Lord is all the time trying to get us out of our comfort zone into a lost and dying world. So there's a lot of pictures up here, a lot of people here from eastern Kentucky. We've been working a lot in eastern Kentucky, and I don't know, anybody in here ever go to Snake Handling Church? Why, you sorry bunch. What do? Just hang around an independent holiness church? You ever been? Nobody been in a snake handling church? Man, I'd rather preach at a snake handling church than a Methodist church any day of my life. Yeah, we preached in a number of them down there. In fact, right there just a little bit east of Manchester, Kentucky on 421, I preached several years ago in one called the 421 Pentecostal Church. I like the way they named the church, just name it after the road, 421 Pentecostal Church. Little old red building kind of leaning to the left, you know. Snakes all over that place, and I'm having the time of my life. I'm not back home now where the people's going to look at me. I don't have to look proper, so I've got bib overalls on and preaching my heart out, having the time of my life, and they got snakes in the boxes. Not out of those boxes. Some woman about 90 years old playing a trap drum there, and my wife sitting right over here on my left, your right, came in with the group, and she sat in the back on the second pew. One of the high points of my life, brother. There's an old man come in about 90-year-old and sat down behind her, and he had a black cane. He sat down behind my wife and slid that cane under her pew, and she saw that cane. She come up out of that pew, and I thought I'd married a Baptist, but I believe I'd married a Pentecostal. Woo! She was having the time. I thought that thing was going to get her. But I began to realize somebody, when they were testifying back here, and I said, we need each other. We need to come together. We need to realize that we are not separated by so many things as we think we are, and we need to carry forth the precious message of Jesus Christ. We need to realize that He's still the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He's still the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end. He's still the first, the last, the former, and the latter. He's still all these things, and He has not lost 1 ounce of His pain. And I'm not ashamed to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, because my Bible tells me He does not lie, He does not change. If He does not lie and He does not change, and what He did in the past He'll do today, He'll do in the future, because Hebrews chapter 13 verse 8 tells me that He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Now, I'm not supposed to preach, so somebody's saying, why don't you just shut up and talk? Okay, I'll shut up and talk, and maybe I'll preach. But there's all kinds of pictures up here. And so my wife and I decided we were going to do some work in eastern Kentucky, and we stopped at a little old house down in Manchester. And this lady said unto me, she said, well, there's a lot of people who needs help, and there's a fire department in Big Creek called Big Creek Fire Department. You've been there. Big Creek Fire Department. Scott's been there. Big Creek Fire Department. And they said they like to help people, so we decided to go to Big Creek Fire Department and help them. And I asked down there, I said, how many people can we expect? They said about 1,000. I said, holy cow, 1,000 people. Where am I going to get stuff for 1,000 people? So my wife decided she was going to have braces put on her teeth. Here's what the Lord does. I love what the Lord does. I love, somebody told me one time, just quit trying to preach all that theology and dazzle people with your brilliance. Just preach the stories that Jesus told. All He ever did was tell stories. So anyway, my wife decided, we didn't have no money, and yet she decided she wanted to have braces put. I thought she looked pretty like she did, but she wanted to put braces on her teeth. So we found one of those dentists. I don't know if you've got them around here. They advertise on they put a double set of teeth dentures in your mouth for $4.99, guaranteed for 200 years, and they'll do it while you're sitting there. One of those kind of dentists, you know. So we trusted him. We went over there, and my wife sitting in there being fitted for these things. I didn't know if I'd ever see her again, but she was in there being fitted for one of these things. And I looked down there and I was just praying. I said, Lord, we got a whole bunch of kids this year to do stuff for, and I don't know what to do. I've already made a commitment. I have learned over my life, folks, if I can challenge you, one of the greatest things to do to serve the Lord is, if you're on the bridge, just go ahead and jump and worry about the depth of the water on the way down. Yeah. You got to create things that you need Jesus. You see, we're so insured and organized and got we've got every backup system imaginable, and all the Lord couldn't get to us to do something for us half the time because we've got everything covered for Him. Got quiet, didn't it? Mm-hmm. So anyway, I looked down beside me in the stand was a stack of little children's magazines. Humpty Dumpty, Jack and Jill, Child Life, been around a long time. If you're as old as I am, when I was a kid, they called them weekly readers. You know, they were good magazines, everything. So on the back of one is marked $2.25 a copy. Whew, it's pretty steep. $2.25 a copy, but there was an 800 number. I thought I'm going home and see if they might just have some overruns. So I went home and called this place. It the Saturday Evening Post Society in Indianapolis. I said, we've got some kids. I was embarrassed to say how many.